Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk about something you may not expect from a motivational speech. Today I want to share with you 5 ways that kindness, yes, kindness will ruin your life. Now this may sound unusual. After all, isn't kindness one of the greatest qualities we aspire to? Isn't it what we teach our children, what we wish to see more of in the world? Absolutely. But let me tell you, true kindness comes with a price. It changes you, shapes you, and in certain ways, yes, it ruins you, but not in the way you might think. Because the truth is, kindness can destroy some things in your life that need to be torn down. So if you're ready, let's explore this ironic idea together. Kindness will ruin your comfort zone. One of the first things kindness does is it forces you out of your comfort zone. You see, true kindness isn't always easy. It asks you to go beyond yourself, to consider others in ways that might make you uncomfortable. To be kind means to look outside yourself, to see other people's struggles, and sometimes to put their needs above your own. But here's the catch: when you practice kindness, you no longer get to stay comfortable. You have to extend yourself even when it's inconvenient. Maybe you help a friend even though you're exhausted. Maybe you give a listening ear to someone who needs it, even if you're going through your own challenges. Kindness will ruin your comfort zone because it pushes you to grow, to reach out, and to do things you never thought you could. It's in these moments, these uncomfortable, sometimes inconvenient moments, that you discover the true depth of your compassion. 2. Kindness will ruin your me-first attitude. Another way kindness can ruin your life is by disrupting a self-centered way of living. When you practice kindness, you can no longer live with a me-first attitude. Suddenly, you realize that the world doesn't revolve around you and that your needs, while important, are part of a bigger picture. Kindness will make you realize that other people's needs, dreams, and lives matter just as much as yours. You might find yourself inconvenienced, delayed, or even sacrificing something you wanted to do for the sake of someone else's happiness. Kindness will ruin your self-centeredness and replace it with a sense of interconnectedness, a feeling that we are all in this together. And while that might feel like a sacrifice, what you gain in return is priceless. You gain a heart that is connected to a sense of purpose that is larger than just your own ambitions, and a peace that comes from knowing you are contributing to the well-being of others. In losing your me-first attitude, you gain something far richer: empathy and purpose. 3. Kindness will ruin your perfectly protected heart. Ladies and gentlemen, here's a truth that can't be ignored. Kindness will ruin the walls around your heart. If you have built walls to protect yourself from being hurt, rejected, or disappointed, kindness will break them down. When you open yourself to being kind, you also open yourself to being vulnerable. You open your heart to others, knowing that they might not always appreciate or reciprocate your kindness. Kindness doesn't guarantee that people will treat you the same way in return. It doesn't shield you from pain or disappointment. In fact, it often exposes you to it. But this is where kindness truly transforms you. When you continue to be kind despite the hurt, you develop resilience. Your heart becomes stronger, not because it's closed off, but because it's open, accepting, and willing to give love even when it isn't easy. Yes, kindness will ruin the perfectly protected heart you've built, but in return, it will give you a heart that is open, empathetic, and courageous. And isn't that what life is truly about? 4. Kindness will ruin your notions of fairness. Another way kindness will ruin your life is by challenging your ideas about fairness. When you are truly kind, you don't always get back what you give. You might offer kindness to someone who never returns it. You might go out of your way to help others who don't appreciate it or even take advantage of it. Kindness doesn't follow the rule of give and take, and sometimes this can feel unfair. But here's where the magic happens. Kindness teaches you that life isn't about keeping score. It's not about only giving when you know you'll receive something in return. Kindness is about giving freely, trusting that you're adding to the goodness of the world, even if it isn't acknowledged or repaid. When you let go of the need for fairness, you gain a sense of freedom. You become free to give without expectation, to love without conditions, and to act with compassion, not because you'll gain something, but because it's simply the right thing to do. So yes, kindness may ruin your ideas of fairness, but in doing so, it will set you free from the need to control outcomes. 5. Kindness will ruin your ability to ignore the world's pain. Lastly, and perhaps most powerfully, kindness will ruin your ability to turn a blind eye to the suffering around you. When you cultivate kindness, you begin to notice the world in a new way. You see people's struggles, you feel their pain, and you realize that you are part of the solution. Kindness won't let you walk past someone in need without at least considering how you might help. It won't let you ignore the struggles of others because you will feel a connection to them. Kindness makes you more sensitive to the world's pain, and yes, that can be heartbreaking. It might feel like kindness is ruining your peace, your ability to live unaffected by the problems around you. But what kindness also does is give you the strength to do something about it. When you open yourself to kindness, you become a force of hope and healing in the world. You realize that you can make a difference, no matter how small, and that your kindness has the power to change lives. This is the true beauty of kindness. It ruins your indifference, but in return, it gives you purpose. In closing. So, ladies and gentlemen, yes, kindness might just ruin your life. It will push you out of your comfort zone, shatter your self-centeredness, and break down the walls around your heart. It will challenge your notions of fairness and force you to confront the pain in the world. But in ruining these parts of your life, kindness will build you into a person of strength, courage, and empathy. It will make you someone who is willing to reach out, to love without expecting anything in return, and to bring light into a world that so desperately needs it. The irony is this: what kindness ruins is never truly a loss. Rather, it's a shedding, a letting go of the parts of us that limit our potential, our compassion, and our capacity for love. Kindness clears the way for a life that is richer, more meaningful, and more connected. So if kindness is going to ruin anything in your life, let it. Let it ruin the barriers that keep you from giving freely, the fears that stop you from reaching out, and the indifference that numbs you to others' pain. Let kindness ruin the life you thought you needed so it can build the life you were truly meant to live. Today, I want to take you on a journey through the 5 ways kindness will ruin your life. Now, it might sound odd. How could kindness, such a universally praised virtue, be capable of ruining anything? Shouldn't kindness bring joy, love, and connection? The truth is, real kindness asks a lot from us, and the sacrifices it demands can indeed feel like it's turning our lives upside down. But as we journey through these ruins, you'll find that each one reveals something invaluable in return. Kindness will ruin your comfort zone, but open you to new worlds. Imagine the life you'd live if you only did what was comfortable. There'd be no growth, no new experiences, no challenges to help you discover your strengths. True kindness will push you beyond the boundaries of comfort. Think about it. Have you ever given up a weekend to help someone move, taken a call in the middle of the night from a friend in crisis, or maybe even offered a kind word to someone who seemed unapproachable? When you practice kindness, you can no longer live with what's easy as your guiding principle. Kindness nudges you to ask what's needed, even when it's not easy or convenient. This might mean stopping on a rainy day to help a stranger with car trouble, or giving time to a cause that speaks to you, even if it means sacrificing your personal time. And yes, this can ruin the comfort of a predictable life, but in return, it opens you to a life filled with purpose, adventure, and deep human connection. 2, kindness will ruin your self-centered perspective and teach you true fulfillment. When you're kind, you quickly learn that life isn't all about you. True kindness means shifting from a me-first mentality to a mindset that considers others' needs and well-being. And while that might feel like a loss at first, it's actually one of the greatest gifts. Imagine this. There's a homeless shelter nearby that's always in need of volunteers. And at first, you resist getting involved. After all, weekends are your time, right? But something within you stirs and you decide to give it a try. The first time you see the gratitude in someone's eyes as they receive a warm meal or a caring conversation, something shifts. You realize that the satisfaction from serving others brings a deep joy that personal pursuits alone can't provide. Yes, kindness might ruin your self-centeredness, but it replaces it with a perspective that sees the beauty in shared humanity. Instead of living for yourself alone, you're suddenly living in a way that's connected, compassionate, and profoundly fulfilling. 3, kindness will ruin your guarded heart, but make you stronger in unexpected ways. Most of us walk through life with some form of armor, carefully guarding our hearts against pain, rejection, or disappointment. Kindness can dismantle this armor because kindness often demands vulnerability. When you open yourself to being kind, you're also opening yourself up to the risk that others might not reciprocate, that some might even take advantage of your kindness. But think about this: when you act with kindness despite these risks, you're actually building resilience. Take, for example, a family member who needs help but may not always appreciate it. By continuing to help, not for the thanks, but simply because it's the right thing to do, you build a strength of character that no amount of external validation could provide. In losing your perfectly protected heart, you gain something far more powerful, a heart that isn't afraid to love, to give, and to hope, even in the face of uncertainty. This is a heart that can weather any storm, not because it's sheltered, but because it has learned the strength of vulnerability. 4, kindness will ruin your idea of fairness, but teach you to give without expectation. One of the hardest lessons kindness will teach you is that the world doesn't operate on a simple give and take. You may pour kindness into someone's life only to find that they don't respond in kind. This can feel deeply unfair, even discouraging. But here's where kindness holds its most profound lesson. It's not about receiving, it's about giving freely. Think of the teacher who spends extra hours helping a struggling student, or the mentor who guides someone with no expectation of anything in return. Kindness teaches us to let go of scorekeeping, to do good simply because we can. In letting go of this need for fairness, you gain the freedom to act from a place of authenticity. Instead of giving with the expectation of something in return, you give because it's a part of who you are. This is true generosity, kindness that doesn't demand repayment but finds its reward in the act itself. So yes, kindness might ruin your idea of fairness, but it will free you from the burden of always expecting things to balance out. 5, kindness will ruin your indifference and open your eyes to the world's pain. Finally, kindness will ruin your ability to walk through life with blinders on. When you cultivate a kind heart, you become attuned to the triggers around you, to the quiet pain that so many carry silently. This awareness can be overwhelming, even heartbreaking. You may find yourself moved by a stranger's story, touched by a friend's silent struggle, or unable to ignore the injustices happening around you. While this heightened sensitivity might feel like a burden, it's actually a gift. Kindness equips you with the strength to act, to help, and to bring hope to those in need. When you open your heart to kindness, you also open yourself to becoming part of the solution. Consider the countless volunteers, healthcare workers, and activists whose kindness propels them into action. They could choose to turn a blind eye, but kindness compels them to care, to get involved, to make a difference. Kindness will ruin your indifference, but in doing so, it gives you purpose. It reminds you that you have the power to create change, to bring light into dark places, and to be a beacon of hope in a world that desperately needs it. In closing, so yes, ladies and gentlemen, kindness might just ruin your life. It will push you out of your comfort zone, challenge your self-centeredness, and break down the walls around your heart. It will force you to confront the unfairness of the world and make you more sensitive to its pain. But in the process, kindness will build you into a person of strength, compassion, and unwavering integrity. The irony is that what kindness ruins, you were never meant to hold on to anyway. The comfort zone, the ego, the guarded heart, the notion of fairness, and the indifference, they were never truly yours to keep. Kindness strips them away to reveal the person you were always meant to be. So if kindness is going to ruin anything, let it ruin the things that hold you back, the fears that keep you from reaching out, and the indifference that separates you from others. Let kindness ruin the parts of your life that don't serve you, so that you can live a life of purpose, love, and deep human connection. Thank you.